Hi there, Vicki Lenford here at Shift Happens channel. So welcome back, manifestors. Listen, we all want to make millions, right? And I know I'm no different. Let me tell you a little story. I was in the middle of a divorce and things weren't looking so good. My finances, I tanked, but then just when I thought it was going really bad, it got worse, right? And so because I was struggling with my inner confidence and self-concept of who I was as far as manifesting money and making it on my own, because I was really dependent on my ex-spouse at the time. I didn't believe that I could make it on my own. So my 3D world reflected that, right? So just when I thought it was bad, it got worse because all of a sudden I was looking at my finances and I was like, okay, that's not so bad. And then I looked on my stocks and I noticed, I was like, man, I don't have any cash. I thought I had cash available, but I didn't. I had somehow bought some stocks and I didn't have the cash, and they were so kind and gave me a loan that I knew nothing that I had. And of course, with a loan, there's a high interest rate. So I was paying on this interest rate, and the amount that I had to pay back, which I don't like to have loans out and that sort of thing. I'm all about cash, right? Well, I looked to see the amount, and even though it wasn't a large amount, but if you recall, I didn't have a large amount of savings to begin with, okay? So I had to drain my savings. So therefore, to pay off this loan. Now, the good thing about this loan was that I had invested well. So there's a positive there, right? I wasn't, just randomly buying stocks and anything. The stocks that I did buy were making money. I just was going in the hole over this loan and the interest rate. I wasn't really making money. Well, I paid off the loan, but in doing so, I drained my savings. And really, in reality, I was dead ass broke. And so, I was fine. Initially, I was fine. I was like, you know what? I had the money. I paid it off. I have really good investment, ideas. And I knew that I could, I knew my investments were going to make money in the long run. But after a bit, I got into my head a little bit, and I was like, after a day or two, I was like, dude, I am way, way broke. And here I thought I was manifesting all these wonderful things, which I was. But at that moment, all of a sudden, I overtook myself, and I was looking at all the lack, and I went into this spiral. I was like, oh my God, I'm broke. I'm done. There's no hope, blah, 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 right? But then I just stopped myself, and I was like, okay, I got to work on myself, because I know that my self-concept, whatever I feel and believe and think about myself, and even the words I use, are always reflected in the 3D. They always. So I had some really limiting beliefs on being able to make it on my own. Therefore, the universe showed me that. Oh, you don't think you can make it on your own? We'll give you a little taste of that. Bam. I was broke. And so I knew I had to shift. I knew I had to shift my identity and how I saw myself. But I also knew that my true essence, as with everyone, was pure love and pure energy, right? And so it wasn't like I had to change. I just had to choose differently on how I was thinking about myself. So instead of focusing on the lack, like, oh my gosh, it was a deficit, I started to choose to look at things not about money, but just about life in general. So I would get up in the morning and be like, I would just say these things like, okay, universe, surprise and delight me. I know today's gonna be a great day. And then I'd go and I really stayed in the moment, and I really just focused on just being. No agenda, no, oh my gosh, I'm gonna manifest my money back. Nothing like that. Now, my desire was to, get my money back, but I was like, well, I'll be fine. I just had that inner calmness of knowing I got this. It's gonna happen, because I started to shift in in identifying with that person that is one with source, God, whatever, however you want to refer to it. I was walking in that moment. So a week, 2 weeks went by. I didn't really think about it. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking about other things and blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, that little voice is like, hey, you might want to check your Venmo. You know, I think I had to pay somebody. I don't even know. But all of a sudden I looked and I was like, what was that? I saw this number and I was like, well, what is that? Oh, I know what it was. Somebody paid me something on Venmo. And I thought, I don't see it in my checking account. I should see it. So then I asked a friend and she's like, well, go on your Venmo and check on, I don't know, some, credit or something on Venmo. And I looked, it was that number it was that number that I had went broke to. That's the amount that was in my Venmo. Now I had no idea. I thought when someone Venmoed you, it went straight into your checking account. It doesn't. Venmo holds on to it. I'm sure they get interest off of it. So then I was like, dude, do you know how many years of Venmoing I have on that? Well, it was enough to cover, the cost that I had to pay off that loan. So did I get rich? No. But did I think I kind of hit the lottery, because I was like, I just knew deep down it was going to come to me. I knew it was going to be okay. And it was, because it was replaced in less than a month. And, that was 5 figures. It wasn't a lot. Like I said, I didn't have a lot in my savings. But now I see it. Yes, sometimes you need evidence to see, to help you keep believing. And it's and just like when you want to manifest millions, right? Everybody's like, I want to be a millionaire. And so you should be, and you can be. But sometimes you have to start in small increments and go, okay, I just manifested, 5 figures. Let's go for 6 figures. Okay. And so you could just go into increments like that, just to because if you put out there, let's say you make, I don't know, $40,000 a year, and you're like, dude, I want to make $40,000 a month, not a year. Well, that's a big jump. So maybe, and I'm not saying you can't have it. It's just, there's a lot of limiting beliefs. It's easier, so to speak, in our heads, we think it's easier to manifest a penny, on the ground versus $1 million flying into our bank account, because we get caught up in the how, and we all know that the how has no place for me. How was I going to replace the money I had to spend on recovering that loan and replenish my savings account? I had no idea how, but I knew I was going to get it. I didn't even didn't even question it. I was like, it's coming to me. It's coming to me. I know it is. I just felt it. I just had to overcome, that calmness. And so I just looked at other things in my life with abundance, with appreciation, and being in the moment. And that's really the secret. It's just being in the moment, appreciating everything, and that knowing that you can do this. And so, like I said, sometimes it's easier to know that you can manifest $100 versus 100 million, right? So start smaller, and that's okay. It just gives you a little confidence, okay, this shit works, right? And so, that's my advice to you, because it does happen when you just relax, ask for it, and let it go. I didn't even visualize. I didn't do any of that. I was just like, you know what? It's going to come back to me. I just know it is. And that was my self-talk. And then I didn't even think about it. The only thing I thought about, and I was intentional in, is waking up every day and saying, universe, surprise and delight me. And then I walked in appreciation, and I walked in the moment. So presence and appreciation, it helps to let it go and just be in that knowing, and be that person knowing that that money is there. It's in your bank account. And it was in my bank account. I just didn't know which one. That's how much money I have. I have so many bank accounts, I just can't even keep track, right? But you live and have fun with it like that. Just think about things like that and just have fun. Quit getting so serious about it and just relax into it. All right, this is Vicki Lemper. This is Shift Happens channel. If you want some one-on-one coaching, email me at shifthappenslifecoaching. All my information is also below in the description box. So have a great day, and we'll see you next time.